So I'm questioning why the president is even talking about economic issues with a nation that has been behaving poorly. Here's Gordon Chang with me this week on this program. Watch this. We have been talking about this, and I raised the question in the last 2 weeks. Will this Iran war delay the president's trip to Beijing?
The president of the United States should not go to the Chinese capital during a war where China is helping the other side. Matter of fact, China is helping Iran so much that it really is an enemy combatant. For instance, providing military intelligence, weapons, all the rest of it, everything except for combat troops. So I think that President Trump's message to China is absolutely the right one.
Jameson, did the fact that China has been supporting Iran, buying 90% of its oil imports, did that come out in your discussions in Paris?
Well, we can't, a little bit, yes. You can't talk to any of our trading partners these days without talking about the war in Iran and all of that. So we certainly talked about that. Iran buys a lot of oil and gas, or China buys a lot of oil and gas from Iran. Iran depends on China as a consumer, so it's of interest to them. China has been actually quite cautious vocally and publicly about Iran. I will say that, behind the scenes there have been, some conversations about the United States moving forward with Iran and making sure that China, is not a hindrance to that. The president moving his meeting with Xi, it wasn't a negative outcome. It was something that we thought might happen because the president needs to focus as the commander-in-chief on matters here. So we flagged this for the Chinese before it went public. There weren't really any surprises there, and that's why we expect the meeting to go forward. And to the extent there are any discussions between China and the United States with respect to the war itself, I'll leave that to Secretary Hegseth and Secretary Rubio and others who are on that portfolio.
Well, we certainly do not want the commander-in-chief in Beijing while we are in the middle of a war with Iran. But I'm going to take a break and get your take on what you said recently about the money going to companies and individuals. Stay right there, Jameson. We'll be back with more from U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer. Stay with us. Welcome back, and I am back with U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer from the White House.